Very good morning, all of you. Welcome back to third lecture on third unit, Geographic Information System. For fourth year, first semester, BTech Civil Engineering students. Today we are going to discuss about map projections. What is the projection? How many types of projections? What is the scale? What are the distortions? So today we will learn these all. What are the content? Introduction, map scale, map projection, properties of map projection, classification of map projection. First, introduction. A map is representation of all or part of earth drawn on flat surface at a specific scale. If you observe any map, just if you observe this is a map, it consists of all parts of the earth. So that's why a map is representation of all parts of the earth drawn on this is the flat surface. This is the two-dimensional surface. It has some scale. It has some specific scale, 1:50,000 or like that. So a map is representation of all parts of the earth drawn on a flat surface at a specific scale. It is a visual representation of an area, a symbolic depiction highlighting relation between elements of that space such as object, region and themes. If you observe this area, this map, some areas are highlighting with colors, different colors, yellow, cyan, some is blue. So different areas are highlighting with different symbols. That's why it gives the relationship between the space and regions and objects and themes. So by visual interpretation, whenever you visual representation of an area, it gives the visual representation of the area. It is a diagrammatic representation of the earth surface or part of it, showing geographical distribution, positions, etc. of natural or artificial features such as roads, town and relief. So everything appear on the map, road network or railway network or towns or buildings, everything it appears on the map. So that's why it is a diagrammatic representation of earth surface shown on the map. And cartography is the study practice of making maps, and one who make maps is called cartographer. What is map scale? Map scale refers to the relationship between the distance on map and the corresponding distance on the ground. How much area covered on the ground, that distance showed on the map. For example, 1 kilometer on the ground, 1 kilometer area covered on the ground, same 1 kilometer area covered on the map is 1 centimeter. That's why 1 centimeter on the map is equal to the 1 kilometer on the ground. This is called map scale. The map scale are expressed in three ways, and the pictorial representation of these three types is shown in the figure. This is a pictorial representation of the map. So this is the graphic representation of scale. This is the fractional scale. This is the verbal scale. This is the pictorial representation of the different types of scale shown in this figure. So what is map projection? Map projection is the systematic transformation of latitudes and longitudes of location on the surface of sphere or ellipsoid into location of on a plane. See here what map projection. Map projection is nothing but a three-dimensional surface transferred into two-dimensional surface. So how to transformation? The systematic transformation. latitudes and longitudes of locations on the surface of sphere or an ellipsoid into location of a plane, flat surface. Okay. It is a representation of the object and information on curved surface in a plane using mathematical and geometric relations. We are using mathematical and geometric relations for representation of objects or information in the plane surface. Transformation from earth surface to flat surface always involves the distortions, either size, shape, area, scale, anything, everything. Why? Because during the transformation, while converting the 3D picture to 2D picture, there is a certain type of distortion was occurring. These distortions occurring in various forms, shape, size, scale, area, direction. That's why so many distortions are occurring during this process. That's why there is no perfect map projection in this world. After converting, if you observe the map, two-dimensional map, so many distortions was happened. This is the main concept of map projection. For example of map, one area, if you see, this is the some map appears like this. It has some scale, some representation. In the scales are represented in the pictorial representation. This is the legend. So some pictorial representation of the scale like this happened. So many road network also there. Some agriculture, some hilly area, contours also. Some blue indicates the water. So the different types of colors indicates different types of features on the map, earth surface. It represents in the map. For example, base map design, colors of the map. Colors, major roads are red, lesser roads are black. So use colors that indicates the level of importance. Which color indicates which feature on the map. For example, water is blue, like that. It's appear, different types of colors appear on the image, indicates the different features on the earth surface. So what are the properties of map projection? Three principal cartographic criteria. First one, conformality map projection. Conformality map projection means it represents correct representation of shape. It gives the correct shape. Equidistance map, it gives the correct representation of distance. If you see any area, the equally distributed distance is equally distributed from the center. And equivalency map projection, correct representation of area. So these are all based on the shape, size, distance, area. They are classified into three types of map projections. So these are the properties of map projection: conformality map projection, equidistance map projection. Conformality map projection, it gives the correct representation of shape. Conformality based, if you want any shape, correct shapes of that area, then you can use the conformality map projections. If you want to require the exact distance of that area, then you can use equal distance map projection. So if you want how much area covered that area for water body or agriculture, then you can use the equivalency map projections. These are the different these are the properties of map projections. There are three main types map projections. The three main types of map projections are cylindrical projection, conic projection, azimuthal or planar projection. These three projections are appears like this. One is cylindrical, second one is conical, third one is azimuthal. What is cylindrical projection? So the earth surface 3D converted into 2D. This is the map projection. the simplest map projection. If you observe this, both sides, each point is on the earth surface correspond to the point on the cylinder. So this is called cylindrical projection. On the map, if you observe this on the map, some continents also appears like this. Now, if you observe, this is the equatorial lines and right angles. Straight lines and meridians are right angle to each other. Then the continent, some distortion was happened. So this is called the simplest map projection is called cylindrical projection. See here, and wrap a sheet of paper around the globe in the form of cylinder. Transfer the geographical features of the globe onto it. Then unroll the sheet and lay it. So if you cover the paper around the globe, it is a normally then you cover the paper. After removing the paper, then you will get the projection. That area appears like this. This is called cylindrical projection. To achieve projection, the gradule would be rectangular, the cylinder tangent to one line on the globe or intersect two lines of the globe. So this is the cylindrical projection. Further, they are divided into cylindrical projections of three types. One is normal, second one is transverse, third one is oblique. There are three different cylindrical projections. First one is normal. See, whenever you cover the paper around the globe, the curvature of the surface of the earth converted to flat surface. Whenever this is occurring, there will be some distortion was happened on that area. The distortions are shape or angle or size or scale, anything. If you cover the paper normally, means using lines of latitudes and longitudes of lines, and this is a example. Example, if you see this first image, this is the normal projection, normal cylindrical projection. For example, if you cover the paper other side, the perpendicular direction of that side means around other side, then it is called transverse cylindrical projection. For example, if you observe third one, if you covering the paper at an angle diagonally, it becomes oblique cylinder. So like that, based on the covering of the paper around the globe, the different types of cylindrical projections. For example, first one, if you observe, the projection is exactly perpendicular to the equator. First one, normal projection. Perpendicular to the equator means that is also called Mercator projection. First one. Second one, if you observe the second one, transfer cylindrical projection, this transfer cylindrical projection which is perpendicular to any meridian, that is called transverse Mercator. Finally, if it is tangent, that is a great circle, it is oblique Mercator. These are three types of cylindrical projections. Next one, we can talk about the conical projection. When we talk about the conical projection, for example, you have a circle. For example, you have a circle. See, This is the earth surface. Then you can see here the sides are exactly touched, one end tangent on the surface of the earth surface. It's exactly touched on the cycle one end. Then after open this paper, it appears like this. When you open the piece of the paper, the kind of projection will be this kind of projection is called conic projection. So a method of projecting maps of parts of the Earth's spherical surface on a surrounding cone, which is then flattened to a plane surface having concentric circles as parallels of latitudes and radiating lines from the apex of as meridians. A cone is placed over the earth, normally tangent to one or more lines of latitude. A cone projection works best over mid latitude for this reason. So this is the main technical concept of conic projection. When a wrap piece of paper around the globe to form a cone, shine a light from the center of the earth, trace the image that is projected onto paper, and then take a paper off for a conic projection. Just when the light incident on center of the earth, it appears the conically projection. This is the technical concept of the projection. Finally, azimuthal or planar projection. A map projection in which a globe of the earth is assumed to rest on flat surface onto which its features are projected. So it's the rest of the flat surface on which its features are projected. So it is one of the important projection result from projecting a spherical surface into plane. So what is the important projection here? So spherical surface converted to projection from spherical surface to plane surface. In this projection, flat paper is supposed to touch the globe at one point and project the lines of latitude and longitude of the plane. This type of projection usually tangent to the globe at one point but may be secant. The point of contact may be north pole, south pole, a point on equatorial or any point in between. So this point of contact may be north pole or south pole or any point on the equatorial also, in between any point, but it is a tangential but one point only. Just we will show this. Azimuthal or planar projection are three different types. One is polar projection, equatorial, third one is oblique. See, the polar or equatorial or oblique, any point, just he explained here. Third point, in this projection, a flat paper is supposed to touch a globe one point and project the lines of latitude and longitudes. So here, if you see, this is the paper is projected, paper is touched at one point of the pole. If you see here, one point of the pole. So pole. So it is a tangent to the pole known as polar. If you see, this is second equatorial, this plane is tangent, means it is touched at one point at equatorial line. So then the latitudes or longitudes at that area projected to the flat surface of the paper. So the 3D converted to 2D at equatorial area. That's why this using a point somewhere, an equatorial point. So that's why this is called equatorial planar projection. Third one, if you see this oblique. it is also tangent at some angle diagonally. It touch the plane of the paper is touched at diagonally. That is called oblique planar projection. These are all three types of planar projections. What is the one is planar projection, cylindrical projection, conical projection. These are very important for this concept. This is the main concept of map projection.